Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and we are live, I hope. Let me check with my moderator because we were having some technical difficulties again. The same thing happened last week. I was meticulous to do everything as I normally do. Let me see if we're live here. All right, I'm just checking with my moderator to make sure I'm not talking to dead air for another 6 minutes like I've already done. Just waiting to see. Hello, Diane. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope you're really here. Let me see. Uh, Again, sorry guys for the holdup. Um, um, Hello again, Extra. And hello from Denver. Hello, Barb. Great to have you. Can some of you all tell me? Okay, Wanda says, I'm back. Can you see me live? Yes. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Okay. All right, so I should probably start all over again. I just wanted to confirm that we are actually live and I'm not just talking to myself, which I do that sometimes anyway. I'm Bonnie Barker. This is Friday Fun Live. And despite having issues, I'm not sure what's going on. I did everything the exact same way that I normally do. I was thinking, well, maybe I didn't do something, and last week, but I was thinking back on it and like, yeah, I went through all the steps in the same way. Um, so anyway, it's a mystery. I'll try to put my husband on it at some point and see if he can, help or maybe I'll have to look it up. I don't know, have something to do with the new internet here. Probably not. But anyway, I'm not going to try to figure it out. I'm a crocheter designer. I am not a computer technician or an IT person. Um, Oh, so glad to have you guys come on in. Let me go ahead and say hey to everybody. Say hey to Barb from Denver and Wanda Gordon's back. Yay. Thank you, Wanda. And Diane, good to have you back. And she said, yes, thank you for that feedback. And Phil is back. I am so sorry, guys. I don't know what I'll need to look into this more. I thought it was my goof, but yeah, I don't think it was this time. Something about the scheduling in Google Chrome that's just not working. Anyway, baby girl Ocean, welcome, welcome. And Denise, glad to have you here. And Hannah, thanks for letting me know for being part and helping us here. And Rita and Marge, so good to have you all here. And Connie, she says, first time to catch a live. Hello from Mississippi. Yay. And Wanda says it's the gremlins. Who knows? I mean, who knows what goes on behind this screen in my computer? We take safety precautions and everything that we can, but you know, it's one of those things that I just don't understand. And Cindy, good to have you here. She says, "Hope you're having a blessed day." Thank you, ma'am. I am. I am. Despite any technical difficulties, we're going to have a good day. And Jet One in, waving right back at you, my friend. Hope things are going well with you. And is it Melshmel? Hello. I hope I didn't mispronounce that too horribly. I'm glad to have you here. And Nancy, she says, hello back. Yes. Thank you for support of all who mourn. No, not alone. Thank you so much, Nancy. And Susan, thank you for the thumbs up. And Anne, thank you for your kind comment. And Deborah says, good morning, free Bakersfield, California. Wow. Okay. Isn't that that's where Lindbergh took off, right? Bakersfield, I believe, or at least where the plane was made. Anyway, yeah, that sounds so familiar. And Hannah, thank you for being such a good, welcoming person there. And good morning. Is it Usha from the UK? Welcome, welcome. And Bonnie Else is back in. Yay. And Margita, good morning to you. And Renee from Orange County, California. I've been there. Have a lot of friends who live in Orange County. There's a great church there. If you're looking for a good church, just let me know. Really, really, really fun people. And yeah, anyway. And Dorothy says, hello, everyone from Macomb, if I'm saying that right, Mississippi. Wow. Is that right? Mississippi, I think that's right. And Armel from France. Wow, bonjour, my French friend. That's great. And Renee, yeah, thank you guys for being here and for being so flexible. Had to rip out the first attempt, as you would say in the crochet lingo. And Jatika, good afternoon to you. Wow, this is great. I feel like I'm actually up to date with the chat. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about what's going on here. Um, I am planning a meetup for those interested. I am, as you know, near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And next week, provided that we don't get a full blown hurricane, I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. I'm not God, so I don't know. There is a tropical storm, tropical disturbance that we're keeping an eye on. And the weather forecasters tell us that it could develop into a tropical storm or even a low grade hurricane by next Tuesday. So either way, we're probably going to get rain. We know that, but it's whether we get a lot of the wind is the question. But in the midst of that, I had already kind of tentatively planned to meet in, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'm not sure which day yet due to the storm that may or may not be approaching. But I'm going to meet anybody in the area that wants to meet me at Knit and Purl. I don't have any special program or anything. It'll just be just a friends meeting together. Go shopping. I'm going to be perusing a lot of their used books that they have. They have a whole shelf of beautiful books that somebody donated. And I found treasures there beyond belief, which is so much fun to look through. So if anybody wants to meet me, email me, bonniebay@me.com. I'll email you with the specifics. I'll probably do lunch afterwards. So if that's something that's interesting to you, please email me, bonniebay@me.com. My email is also in the video description. That way I can kind of know if you're real or not. So we can, just touch base, and then I can give the details to those who are interested. And speaking of meetups, I owe my watch subscribers another meetup. I had to put things off a little bit last month at the beginning of this month as well because of recovering from COVID for 2 to 3 weeks. So things are much better in that regard. So I'm hoping to, at some point next week, to also have an online live meetup. We'll probably go from I don't know, 2 to 3 in the afternoon on a weekday, and I will be I'm be posting the link in the watch channel so that everybody can have it. So that way I don't have to worry about missing an email, to somebody. So if that's something, so be on the lookout for that. If you're a watch subscriber, if you're not a watch subscriber, you can become a watch subscriber very easily. There's a link in the video description that says watch, as in watch, WATCH .bonniebaycrochet.com, and you can check out the page. It's a paid subscriber channel. There are a lot of videos there, a lot of exclusive content that does not appear on my public page, and it's $7.95 a month or $79.50 a year. And that also includes many patterns that are complimentary. And when I release new designs, you get those complimentary. You don't have to, send money anywhere else. It just comes as part of your subscription. And I do try to do a Zoom meetup or a class on the Zoom. Again, this is all included with the monthly fee. So if that's something that's interesting to you, and it also there's no spam, no commercials, no interruptions whatsoever. So if that's something that you're interested in, please check that out. If you want to take your crochet to the next level, you can do it without being interrupted. Yay! So anyhow, let me get back to the chat and catch up. Thank you, Shatika, for the blessings there and crochet knitting ideas. Welcome to our chat. And Emily says, hi there, Bonnie, queen of the crochet cables. Okay. This is my first time I have joined one of your live sessions. Lots of love, Emily in the UK. Well, Emily, welcome. You are so welcome to be here. I hope you find everybody very encouraging in the chat. We're here to uplift and encourage each other, um, in the craft as well as in life in general. So, and if you stick to the end, I will have um, some words of life. I'll just say that I like to read. I could say it's words of inspiration, but it's more than that. I will be sharing some words of life. So if that's something that's interesting to you, if you need the support, the encouragement that nothing in this world gives, including crochet. Crochet is wonderful. It's a great craft, but there are some things that crochet just doesn't do, and it does not, doesn't provide life like our Lord does. And I always love to read again. I don't do this out of to bring any condemnation or start any arguments or anything like that. It's just because it's something that I desire and I need desperately just to stay centered. And I just figured there might be someone else out there that can relate and appreciate it as well. And we have Pawsalutely Yarntastic with Heidi. Wow, what a great name. Good morning to you, Heidi. Glad you could be here. Um, Thanks, Hannah, for sending Bonnie L the link. Not sure how long it would have taken me to figure out things on my own. We're in the same boat, Bonnie. So, and Jet One In. Yeah, I wish you were closer too. That would be fun. I'm sorry to be so, spare of the moment, but that's the life I'm living right now. Um, Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, Jet One In says, "Oh no, I'm sorry. So sorry to hear you had COVID." Yeah, uh, it was not so bad. It was, I think, my third encounter with this virus. So I think my body has built up some resistance, some natural and resistance to it. So I was thankful that that it was not so bad. It was actually my husband's first time. He brought it home. So um, yeah. Anyway, but we're all good now. And baby girl Ocean says, can't travel to Myrtle Beach yet. Had hip surgery, still recovering in therapy. Wish I could be there. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But you get better, baby girl Ocean. Yeah, and it actually the I say in the general area of Myrtle Beach, but the yarn store is actually on Surfside. If you know where that is, Surfside Beach. It's not too far from Myrtle Beach. It's just you just keep on going. I think on Kings, is it Kings Highway? No, 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 no. I forget I even said that. You can look it up. It's just Knit and Pearl, or just email me and I will email you the information that you need if you're interested. Jet One In says, I hope the tech watch pattern is still on the radar for watch subscribers. I'm so excited to make one for my mom. I'll have to work on that. Or I'll tell you what, Jet One In, if you want to email me, I might be able to help you one-on-one with that. Okay, I have no problem doing that. It could be a while before I produce something like that. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't 100% satisfied with the product I was getting. That was part of the problem. The other problem was that nobody signed up for that class. So we ended up just switching the class with Pittsburgh. But yeah, that's part of it for me is whenever I put something out, I want it to be something that I can feel good about and stand behind. I don't want there to be issues, but I can certainly show you what I did and how I did it if you wanted to do that. So that's kind of why I'm kind of holding off. I kind of tabled that for a bit. All right. Hey, Jans, good to have you with us. Hannah, yep. Thank you for that little greeting there for Hannah. Um, yeah, and thank you, Hannah, for encouraging baby girl Ocean. I really do hope, I agree with Hannah. Hope your recovery won't be too long and you get plenty of rest. Um, you may not get a chance to get rest like this in the future, so take what you can get. Hey, Barbara, she says, morning, kiddo. Good morning to you, my Alaskan friend. Um, oh, so good to hear from you. See, I love the things that you send that you're crocheting there in the wild. Um, And Jan, she says, Amen. Preach, Bonnie. Thank you, Jan. I need the encouragement. Um, and Cynthia says, Bonnie, please add our family to your prayer list. We just returned from Germany, honoring our son in law. He passed from ALS. I am so, so sorry, Cynthia. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Hold on a second. Uh, Hold on one second. Give me a minute. Hannah, can you make a note of that for me? I would really appreciate that because if you could just copy her post so I can add it to my prayer list afterwards. That way I won't get too distracted here. I will definitely do that, Cynthia. And thank you, Denise, for praying for Cynthia. It's Cynthia Burke's post, Hannah, about her son-in-law and just praying for their family. All right. DL Cripps says, good morning. I am a lefty who subscribes to the Watch channel. There isn't a left-handed video available for the Celtic Weave scarf yet. Glad to be in the live chat. Yes, there should be. I posted them both, but I will check on that. Where's the pen? I will check on that afterwards. Hannah, if you could make a note of that for me too, I'd really appreciate that. Just check on the left-handed. Well, and let's go ahead and show you what she's talking about because the Watch channel already has this. And go ahead and bring this a little bit closer. This is what's coming on Monday to my channel. It's called, I'll go ahead and unfold the whole thing. It's about 60 inches long. This is called the Celtic Weave shawl, not a shawl, the Celtic Weave scarf or stole, all these S words, okay? It features double ribbing. It features the Celtic Weave and the V-stitch. Let me go ahead and show it to you from this end, because this is the end, the way it starts on this end. So if I could hold it still. So if you have ever struggled with the Celtic Weave, this might be the project for you, just because that's the main part of the project. And it'll give you a lot of practice. It'll give you a lot of practice going back and forth. And the rows are short. There are only 6 front crosses in each section, 6 here, 6 here. And the V-stitch is very easy. That's just a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and it creates kind of a nice lacy edging and center. So let me give you some background. I shared this last week, but I used a fingering weight yarn, which was by a company called Noti, Noti, and this makes a lovely scarf. I mean, you can do all sorts of things with it. You can also wear it as a stole if you just want something over your shoulders, to ward away the chill. I'm not going to wear it for long because it is warm down here right now. But this is also a project where you can make it basically any length that you prefer. And you can also make this with any yarn that you prefer. You don't have to buy the really nice alpaca yarn. But if you do, I thank you, because you'll be supporting another small indie designer who probably works from home like I do. But anyway, if you want to just shop your stash, this takes about in the ballpark of about 1,200 yards. So I used 3 hanks of the yarn that I got from Noti, the alpaca yarn. The only thing is, if you use thicker yarn, it's going to be a little bit wider, and you just have to make sure that you match your crochet hook to the yarn that you choose. Okay, so just make sure that you do that. If you are a Watch subscriber, this design, I will check on the left-handed version, but this design is already up on the channel, and the complementary pattern is also there for you. If you have any trouble reaching that, please let me know. If you're not a part of the Watch channel, not a problem. I do have this in my Lovecraft store as well as in my Etsy online store. It's not there right now, but it will be there on Monday when the video goes live. So the video will be on this channel Monday. And I'm really looking forward to getting this out there. This is kind of one of these designs that was something that I just played with some extra yarn that I had at home, some other yarn other than this. And so many people in my class at Pittsburgh, where I taught another class, was asking, where can I get this pattern? And it's like, well, it's such a simple pattern. I just never really bothered writing it up. But I do have that available now. It's in both stores. Well, it will be in both stores on Monday. But I really do think it would be a really good way to learn the Celtic weave, or if you've even had trouble with the Celtic weave. So anyhow, what else do we have here? Um, I don't know if I've said this already because of the glitch that we had on the other link earlier, but I am going to be sending out information. I think I already said this, but I am going to be sending out information to my watch folks about the watch meetup. I think I did mention that. I said so many things the first time. I'm kind of having a deja vu moment here about that. Let's see, what else do we have? Also, we talked about this last week. The coffee cappuccino throw, both video 1 and 2 are now on my channel. There are some yarn supply challenges with the particular yarn that I use. So if you try to get the Paintbox Yarn Simply Aran, it's just not there. I am encouraging people, there is a link in the video description below, I believe, where you can check out the Bravo yarn, which is a yarn that is a similar worsted weight acrylic from Knit Picks. You can check that out. They do have similar colors, and I put some colors down there for those who are interested. And all this information is also in the video description of the Coffee Cappuccino throw. It's a big throw with a big cup and cables coming up as the steam. If you haven't seen that, check it out on my channel. It was so much fun. And yeah, it was fun to make. It was complicated for me to design, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to breeze right through it. Lots and lots of information in the 32-page pattern. So don't be put off by that too much. A lot of that, I just wanted to be sure that no matter what your learning style, whether you're into stitch diagrams or the video tutorial or the written words, all of them are there for you to help you understand the stitches, or at least that is my hope. I worked hard, and my editor worked very hard to edit this as well. There was one other thing I didn't write down. Okay, I see what it is. Yeah. So let me go ahead and back up and get back to your comments here. Yeah, thank you guys for caring for Cynthia and her family. I so appreciate that, Denise. So, and again, DL Crisp, I will check on that. Okay. Bonnie L says, is anyone else getting commercials? They usually don't pop up in the lives. Sorry, guys. Yeah. And good day to you, Karen and Jan. It says Alaska, France. We are all over the world. Yes, we are. We crocheters are everywhere. Isn't that great? Thank you, Jan, for caring for Cynthia and her family. And Baby Girl Ocean, thank you so much for your compassion towards each other. You guys are just so wonderful. And that's why I don't like to miss a Friday, because I love hanging with you all. And thank you for your feedback on the scarf, Wanda and Rhonda. Thank you so much. And Sharon, thank you for your kind words there. I hope you all like this one. Denise says, I can't wait for this scarf. It's so beautiful. Oh, thank you. Sometimes I think, too, just simplicity, because you don't have to have a bunch of different. I'm going to be showing you something in a little bit that has a bunch of different stuff in it. But yeah, it doesn't have to be super complex to be beautiful. And that's what's wonderful about crochet, too, is, sometimes a pattern that's just not that complicated. And let me show you one. I finished this week. I'm still in the design process. I want to make sure this is really, really good to go. But this is, believe me, it's not a hard pattern at all. And I just absolutely love this yarn. This is a new baby blanket. That'll be coming maybe in December, sometime either November, December. And I don't even have a name for this one yet. It might be the popcorn baby blanket. I don't know what I'm going to call it. But I made it out of this yarn. that is, I bought the yarn just to try it, just as an experiment, and I so hope that the supply is okay on it. I hope that it's available when it's needed. Um, the Paintbox Chenille. This is a number 5. Let me double check to make sure. Put my eyes back on. My second pair of eyes or third pair of eyes. Got my eyes and my contact lenses and then reading glasses. This is 100% polyester, 131 yards or 3.5 ounces. And this is, okay, there it is. This is a bulky weight. This is a number 5. This is shade number 30, which is kind of a, kind of a fun multicolor. And this is shade number 4, the yellow. But I just thought this is so much fun, and the softness of this is unbelievable. Now, the one thing, whenever you use any chenille yarn, it's not real friendly when it comes to ripping back, especially more than one time. It will diminish the substance of the yarn. So I will say that much about it. So if those of you who've crocheted with chenille, it's not just this brand, it's any chenille. It's not as strong as far as ripping it back and forth. It's not like the alpaca. I ripped that out a bit and didn't have any problem. The acrylic, you can rip that stuff up and back and forth all day long. You're not going to have a problem. This you're going to end up with a bunch of shedding on your on yourself. So if you do a pattern with this, make sure that you understand the design and the stitches. And it might even be prudent to practice with some stash yarn that's not so important to you, so that you understand the stitches first before you get into the project. I highly recommend you do that too. Anything you make that's mohair, I absolutely love the mohair yarn. This is not mohair, but I'm just saying in general, I love it. But I don't dare experiment with stitches that I'm not familiar with that yarn. I will practice with some other yarn that's not so special to me. But the baby blanket here will be coming. Look for it probably around the holidays. And it's one of these blankets that you can sit and get done in a weekend easily. And it's very relaxing. I guess once you know the stitches. So this will be coming again, November, December sometime. All right, Hal. Oh, thank you, Hannah. Okay. I see what you say, Hannah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure on that, but yeah, you're probably right. All right. Let me get back. I don't want to get too behind here. And in the comments. And Jan says, beautiful. Any tips on the cables? They are the bane of my existence. Oh, Jan, I would encourage. I wonder where you are. You can always contact me, and we can email back and forth. If you're on the watch channel, I mean, there's only so much I guess we can do interacting without being in person. But I think this is where in-person classes are the best. If you have a yarn store in your area where you can, and if there's somebody there that knows how to crochet and is familiar with the cables, they might be helpful. Yeah. Or if you want to send me pictures of what you have of your what you're struggling with, I can give you some feedback on what might be going wrong, if you don't mind doing that. Yeah. But once you understand it, it's like riding a bike. It's like once you understand it, you can't forget it. It makes sense. So I hope. Yeah, sorry about that, Jan. Yeah, I really don't like frustrating people with some of these. I've just been dabbling in these since I was a teenager, because I was so bored with all the other stuff that was in publication at the time. And once I discovered Annie Oak's booklets on fisherman crochet, I was hooked for life on those. and then just have sought to expand some of the work that she's done. Um, yeah, Cynthia, we love you, honey. We just hope pray for your family. I so appreciate the service of your son-in-law too. And Felicia, a good morning to you. She says, "Good morning, sis, Bonnie, and everyone, and good evening to Hannah." Um, okay, Jan says, "Yeah, about the commercials, maybe pushing us to buy YouTube subscription." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Jan. It's hard to say. And Bonnie L says to Jan, "This 80-year-old woman is a stubborn German, so that's not about to happen." We have that in common too, Bonnie. Yeah, German heritage, German Irish heritage. So boy, I've got a double dose of it. So yeah. Um, Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to push you into a watch subscription or anything. I really am not, because I understand budgetary lifestyles. I understand, my mom was on a very small fixed income the last 15 years of her life, which is why she lived with my family. And we were happy about that. I understand. So I don't like to be pushy and real salesy, pitchy, but it's one of those things that is there for those who can't afford, if they enjoy the patterns that I design and don't want to have to buy the patterns, can get them complimentary, and don't want to have to watch commercials. That is an option. And it's supporting, a fiber artist working from home. So anyway, um, not to be pushy about that. I just want to make it available. But yeah. Anyway, Anne Marie says, "Hello, Bonnie and Hannah. Hope you are having a great day." Thank you, Anne Marie. Yes, yes, ma'am. And Jan says, "I love the coffee throw. It has cables. Any tips for cables?" Well, yeah, Jan, if you're having a struggle with cables, that's probably not a good place to start, because you're working across the row and you're working with a variety of cables in each row. So yeah, that you might want to just put that one on the table for a while, or shelf it for a little while until you get a little more comfortable. And I did try to talk a lot about that at the beginning, and it is really more intermediate to experienced level. Again, that said, if you're a confident beginner and you're ready to dive in and learn, get messy, and you're not afraid of making mistakes, you know, I would still recommend you try something else. Try something else on my channel where you can just learn a couple of things at a time, instead of, doing 15 different new things all at one time, because that's really for, that's really what that design does. Um, and I'm not trying to scare people, but I'm also trying to caution them, because I get a lot of people, not you guys, I promise it's not you, because you wouldn't be here in the live chat, but I do get comments from people that just come and then go like this, because they think that crochet is like, is a not a no-brainer thing, and they don't understand that it requires skills. It requires muscle memory development in our hands and in our brains, to accomplish that. And you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, have a lot of these skills that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? The first time you try anything, I mean, the first time you went in a swimming pool, did you swim across like an Olympic swimmer? Absolutely not. You probably were afraid of drowning, or at least I was. First time you ever rode a bike, I remember smacking into the fence the first time my training wheels were off, and it terrified me. But yeah, it takes time, it takes skill, and it's people who don't understand that and think that, oh, it's a women's craft, it's easy, anybody can pick it up. No, 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 no. Don't think that, because we ladies and gentlemen have skills, and it just takes time and patience to develop them. And so when people who don't understand that, try to attempt a harder project right off the bat and fail, then it's always my fault. So um I, okay, you know what I'm saying. I'm being facetious here, but yeah, so that's why I just kind of put a cautionary intro on that one. I'm encouraging people to try it and to take a look at it, but at the same time, it's a cautionary word. This is not for the faint of heart. If you've not developed muscle memory for some of the cardigans. All right. Um, but thank you for that, Jan. I guess I'm not a very good salesperson for my work. Most people are like, buy the pattern. And I'm like, well, if you're ready, but I want you to be happy with the designs that you attempt. Anyway, Karina from Birmingham, England, welcome. I hope you're doing well today. I guess it's probably evening, getting near evening supper time for you, or late tea. I don't know what you call it there, but yeah. And Grace, I'm glad that you're here with us. Um, let's see. Oh, thank you, Wanda. She likes the baby blanket. And Jan, thank you. Felicia says, I'm in the middle of making a cake. I didn't hear about Miss Cindy, but I'm praying for her. Oh, thank you, Felicia. They had to um, say goodbye to her son-in-law, who was buried in the UK. So wait a minute, just returned from Germany. I'm sorry, Germany, honoring her son-in-law. He passed from ALS. Okay, let me get my story straight here. Okay. So I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Cynthia. I didn't mean to botch that one so badly. But for Felicia, I'm gonna read that again. She says, please add our family to your prayer list. We just returned from Germany, honoring our son-in-law. He passed from ALS. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Denise, for your kind word about the blanket. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So let me just got a lot of things load here. Okay. Don't wear a black sweatshirt. Just saying. I'm trying to figure that one out, Jan. Okay. Um, and Armel, thank you for your kind words. Cynthia says, I did visit a shop in Nuremberg. I brought back some gorgeous yarn. It was hard to pick. Isn't that fun, Cynthia? I mean, I'm sorry it was such a sad occasion for you to travel abroad, but I always make plans if I know I'm going to be going out of the country. I don't always look it up before I go, but once I get into the country, I get my maps out on my phone. Okay, yarn store, where are you? It's always just kind of fun because even though it could be just right on the path of some place that you're going to go anyway. And I just remember being in the UK, going to a fantastic yarn store. We had to take the tube to get there, and that was an experience too. I can't remember the name of the store. I should remember, but I can't right off the top of my head. But and did that as well in Switzerland, in the Alps, and met the most delightful woman there. We couldn't speak a common language, but somehow we managed to share our appreciation with each other. I think she spoke Russian and German, and my husband spoke French, and I'm with English. And but somehow we managed, and we left friends. It was so much fun. Um, and Jan says, I just finished my third baby blanket out of 5. My niece has 5 friends expecting. That is wonderful, Jan. I am glad to hear that people are having children because of all the things I've ever done in my life, that has been the greatest, is just being able to have a family. I am so happy to hear that young people are doing that. And Bonnie L says, buttered popcorn. Absolutely. I thought of that. I might have to make it the buttered popcorn baby blanket. I mean, I have buttered popcorn hat. I have a buttered popcorn scarf on my channel. We may just have to reuse that. Thank you for the suggestion. I might have to do that. And Grace says, thanks for your awesome post. Oh, you're so sweet. And Jan says, I'm in Illinois. I just lose the stitch that I'm going into on the next, or just lost the stitch that I'm going into on the next row. Uh-oh. Hope you're not knitting. It's easier to fix in crochet. I'm totally on board with that. And Denise says, Bonnie, you explained how to do the Celtic stitches really well in your tutorials. Well, thank you, Denise. I'm glad you think that. I have gotten some feedback that's the opposite, but we all learn at different rates, and I understand not everybody's going to get it. I'm sure back in the days of high school that not all of the kids got the math teacher's instructions either. I know we all learn at different rates, and unfortunately, some people have the ability to express themselves in interesting ways. But anyway, oh, thank you. And from Universe, thank you for your kind comment. That is so sweet of you. Um, and Anne says, I did a corner to corner latte cakes baby blanket. My granddaughter loved it. Oh, that's so sweet. And Bonnie L says to Jan, at least you didn't lose the hook. Or did she? uh, and Vima's Crochet, I'm so glad that you're here with us. And thank you, Jan. She said the wash channel is awesome, well worth the money. Thank you, Jan. I so appreciate that. And we want it to be, we want that to be a good deal. And that's why we try to work hard. I would like to do even more with that, but I'm one person and my time and I'm just limited. But if you don't mind that, there are hundreds of patterns, there are hundreds of designs on the channel there already. I promise it will keep you busy. And Sherry says, I just joined. Did you already talk about the beautiful knitted cardigan? No, Sherry. I have a knit sweater to show you. I told you last week I'm working out of a sweater from this book. This book is published by Knit Picks. This is the sweater that I did. I'll show it to you. This book is out of publications. It's just called Encircled by Knit Picks. But if you go online, you might be able to find one, at a online used bookstore or something. I've done 2 sweaters now with this, and I love this. What I think I actually ordered a book off of Amazon from another place, another author. Once I work with that, I'll share that with you, or once it comes, I'll share it with you. But as soon as this sweater, I'll show it to you. I had to substitute different colors because I think one reason this book went out of publication is the yarn colors, for whatever reason, sometimes don't become available, or they go bye-bye and don't come back. And so that they feel like they can't really sell the pattern anymore. The pattern is great. You just have to know how to substitute colors. But it still needs to be blocked. But I finished my jumper, or my sweater. And it features, and it's not as difficult. I know it looks mind-boggling. It's not as difficult as it looks if you know knitting, because it's just knitting in the round over and over and over again. Just knit, 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 knit in the round using circular needles. It gets a little tricky with the yarn changes. And let me show you, because you're my friends, I'm going to show you the inside of the sweater. I had to hide a lot of loose strands, but let me just show you. I'm not going to show you the arms part, but see all the floats behind? Lots and lots of floats. The floats are where you carry the yarn behind, that you're not using. And some rounds I was actually carrying 4 different colors of yarn. But I'll show you what I used for that. It even has German rows, which the blocking is going to help that a lot. German rows on the back, which are short rows that go back and forth. It kind of elevates the back neck so that you have, a clear front side and back side. That's all that they do. But since you're doing knits and purls, it does kind of look a little wonkier than just straight up knitting in the round. I'm not going to show you the underarm parts because I think that's probably the worst part. But what's really fun with this is also learned how to do a Latvian braid, which is basically bringing the yarn to the front and just purling. But every time you purl, you change colors. You bring the yarn up from the bottom for one round. And then the next time you come around, you bring the color from the top. So that's what gives it that twisty effect. It looks about 100 times more complicated than it really is. So if you know how to purl, you can do this. Just look up a video on it. So I'm looking forward to wearing this at the PEI, the Prince Edward Island Fiber Festival. How do you like the way I went into that? Which is coming October 23rd through the 25th. So if you want to head north with me and visit our friends up in Canada at Prince Edward Island, it's just above Nova Scotia if you're looking at a map. So you're going to go beyond Maine, and then you have Nova Scotia, and it's an island above that. It's really going to be fun. You can either take a ferry, which is 2.5 hours, to the island, or you can drive north, which is probably what we're going to do, and then take the bridge across. Make sure you have some pocket change for I'm told there's a fee of about $50 to get over that bridge, but when you come back, you don't have to pay. So you're paying for both ways. But it'd be kind of like driving through New York and New Jersey, but on steroids with the fees. All right, so October 23rd, I'll be teaching Introduction to Crocheting Post Cables. And that's, and on the what is this? Okay, forget I said that. I thought this was specific to the class, but it isn't. So we're going to be teaching Introduction to Crocheting Post Cables. Another class, Crocheting Beautiful Trims and Borders. Another class is Intro to Reading Crochet Patterns and Stitch Diagrams. Another class, Multiple Ways to Crochet Ribbing. And the last class, 3 Ways to Crochet Braided Cables. And really looking forward to meeting you Canada folks up there. I've been to Canada twice, so this will be my third time. Okay, Jan was wondering how long it took to make the sweater. Okay. Good question, Jan. This has not been my priority. This has been kind of my learning on the side so that I can develop my knitting skills a little bit better. It took me about 2.5 years. So it kind of sat in a basket for a lot of that time. And I would just pick it up and when I was going on a trip, or if I had nothing else interesting to do. I mean, that's really kind of the way it was. And then I ran into a snag. I ran out of the dark blue color, and it took a while to get the right color. So I was able to match. So you didn't know that, right? From looking at this, I was able to match the color. And once I got that from Knit Picks, then I was able to work on finishing it. But honestly, if I've got an interesting crochet project, if I have an interesting crochet project that I'm just loving, it's hard for me to put the hook down. So that's all that is my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Also, this was a sport weight yarn, which is a number 2, very thin yarn. The next sweater, I told somebody, the next sweater I'm going to do is going to be thicker yarn for sure. So it will go faster. And the book that I am ordering, I'll order from Amazon. I'll show it when I get it. It features some that require bulky yarn, worsted weight yarn. And I'm like, yes, I'll be able to finish that a lot faster. And I think it might fit better. You can see here, this really does need to be blocked a bit, because that should help get rid of some of this difference in tension. But anyway, thanks for that question. Oh my goodness, we're getting late. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I have this is called a yarn thimble or a knitting thimble. Okay, you put this on the finger, that the yarn goes over, and you can load 1, 2, 3, 4 slits for yarn. So that helped me when I showed you the underbelly of this. That helped me to keep those floats organized and in the same place. So I would just pick under, the color that I needed, and it just really helped me to keep things aligned up pretty well. So if that's something you're interested in, I do have a link in the video description of a video that I made and how this works. And I was actually working on this sweater when I made the video. And there's another video on the channel on how you can use this if you want to crochet. But I really think you don't need it as much with crochet. But you can use it. It is functional in that way. Okay, let me show you a blanket that is coming October 15th. I'll be getting this back from the editor soon, and I'm super excited. I showed this to you last week. Again, this is more an intermediate to advanced level, because this is a collaboration with my friend Jennifer Ryan, who designed the Celtic knot, and this is called the Celtic knot baby blanket. But it also features the arrow stitch, low front ridge, Celtic weave worked in the square, and the finishing is a ribbed with the 4-post cable. So this will be coming the 15th of October. At least that's our plan, which will be on a Wednesday. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be on the Columbus Day Monday. It's going to be the Wednesday of that week. So it'll be kind of a midweek release. So, and to let you know, the pattern will be available in my stores, my Etsy and Lovecrafts. It will also be available in Jennifer's store, where she sells her patterns. I'm not real sure. I think that's on Etsy as well. But the way this is going to work is when you buy the pattern, you just buy the pattern one time, either from me or from Jennifer. It doesn't matter. You'll get the complete design pattern. Now and you'll also get the links to both videos. But my portion of the square, which is the outer portion, will be in a separate video on my channel. The portion where you learn how to do the Celtic knot will be on her channel. I do have her information in the video description. And what I'm encouraging people to do is go ahead and subscribe to Jennifer. She could really use more subscribers. Plus, she has a very unique technique that you will not find anywhere else on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that nobody else does what she does. And if you're a little worried about making the Celtic knot, you shouldn't be. I would check out some of her free designs and you'll understand how she teaches it. She's a very excellent teacher. And I do encourage people to buy the pattern, simply because it's going to have a diagram that's going to help you to you can just put your Celtic knot on top of a page and pin it, and it makes its creation so much easier than just trying to do it by watching. So you'll be able to get this done. And this Celtic knot, in case you're afraid, it's just made up of chains, single crochets, and slip stitches, and some half double crochets when you finish it out. It's not that complicated. I mean, you are going to have to follow the directions to weave this in a particular way. And when they connect underneath. So she's very clever with how she's designed this. If you just follow her directions, you shouldn't have any problem. And of course, with my stitches, if you already know how to do the Celtic weave and the arrow stitch, you're home free with that. So it's not that difficult. Somebody wanted me to show them the thumbnail. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of a tease on this. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but come January, once the holidays are over and everything settles down, sometime around January 5th, I have a new design coming. And this is for you all to sit back, put up your feet and go, ah. And it's going to be a stitch sampler. So I am in the process of working one of those giant braids on this right now. But it's just going to be a sampler of all kinds of stitches, because somebody was asking me about this. And that's just some of the stitching. We've seen that before, but I am just making a design that's going to feature a lot of different types of cables, and these are going to be more the larger cables. This is going to be different than the colorful cable throw, but it's also going to be one of those designs where you can make it all one color. I think it's going to look really nice in this color, a lighter, natural kind of color. That said, you can also make this the stash buster. If you've got like buckets and bins of those, Red Heart Super Saver skeins and you don't know what to do with, or just whatever the, Care-On 1 pounders or whatever, and you're like, I don't have enough for one thing. Well, this is the perfect design to save it for, because you can make each section a different color, kind of like I did with the colorful cables throw back in 2020. So that was a bad year, huh? So anyway, so this is just a little sneak peek of the future. I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'm in the home stretch on this. So once I finish all the recording and the designing part, then we start the writing and editing, and then I get to do the stitch diagrams. So that's going to be really fun. So yeah, gonna be busy about that. So, and we also have in October, I don't have it with me, but the red honeycomb poncho with the big collar is coming in October as well. So in October, we've got the blanket. Monday, we have the scarf, and then we have a poncho coming as well towards probably be like the last week in October. So got lots of things heading your way. And then of course, simpler baby blanket, probably November. So I want to keep you all busy. If there's anything you're looking for specifically that you haven't seen me do, I can't promise that I can do it, but let me know, and I will put it to my growing list. Um, so Sherry says, I just joined. Did you already talk about the beautiful knitted cardigan? Okay, Sherry, I guess that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so it was the more the pullover than a cardigan, but yeah. uh, if you're looking for a cardigan, I do have one on my channel though. It's called the Colossae cable Colossae cardigan, I believe, and it's red if you're looking for something like that. And Jan says, I will conquer cables. Yeah. Just do one at a time, Jan, just a little bit. I mean, I think once you understand some of it, I'm not really trying to complicate life. I like new things. And Barbara says, the wash channel is worth every penny. I spent 12 months learning cables from Bonnie's wash channel. It was a fantastic learning experience. Oh, thank you, Barbara. I so appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Prayed for you this morning, my friend. And Renee, good to have you. Thank you for your encouragement, everybody. Phil says, it is by the axle there. I'm not sure what the rate is. I just know it is outrageous. I'm not sure. Wait. Hold on. What do they? Hold on. I missed something. Okay, here. Phil says, hi, Hannah. The last time I crossed that bridge, I was told it was 300, but we have toll transponders, so I don't see the price anymore. Phil is also driving an 18-wheeler. So, wow. But yeah, Hannah says, whoa, that's crazy. Do they charge by the weight of the vehicle? And okay, now that makes sense. And Hannah says, do they have like an electric device that charges you without having to go through the toll stop like an Easy Pass? Yeah, Phil says, it's by the axle there. I'm not sure what the rate is. I just know it is outrageous. Yeah. I'm just going to have to suck that one up and move on, Phil, when it comes to going. It's just part of, traveling. Whenever you order a plane ticket, if you look at the details on the plane ticket, you're going to see $30 to $50 in taxes anyway. So, I mean, it's just the way things work. Same with hotels. I mean, if you look at, I can't go down that path, but if you look at your hotel bill, I mean, 30 something plus dollars taxes per night. Depending on where you are, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a little nuts. So that makes $7.95 not look like much with the watch channel, right? Yeah. Anyway, I had to stick that in there just for fun. Thank you, Wanda, for your kind comments. And Phil, yeah, has an Easy Pass. Yeah. Well, thank you, baby girl. Ocean says all those cables so pretty. Thank you. And Jan says, Phil, I have a friend who won't drive to New York City because of the tolls. It does limit you, doesn't it? Makes you have to, like us, live in the city or get a job elsewhere. Um, oh, thank you, Emily. She says, "Oh well, Bonnie, all those projects you have shared with us are fantastic." Thank you so much for your kind words, Emily. That is so sweet of you. I'm so glad that you can be here today. Um, Phil talking about, yeah, I try not to about going into the city too much, but it's also cramped for a 72-foot long truck to maneuver the city streets. Wow. Oh, I cannot imagine. My husband drives a like 25-foot, pulls a 25-foot or so trailer for our church services on Sunday morning sometimes, Phil, and that's tricky. I cannot imagine what you guys drive. It's just amazing. He says my boss gets those bills, so I don't see them, or I'd probably turn around and take the load back. uh, and Hannah says she went to Charlotte, North Carolina once, and the GPS put me on a toll road, and the state sent my grandma a $10 ticket in the mail weeks later. Reason I was there for a funeral, not for a fun trip. Yeah, I drove a car with a paper tag through Charlotte when I was driving my Miata home for the first time, and I the GPS did the same thing. Siri sent me onto the yeah, to that express ramp, and I really wasn't supposed to be on the express ramp, and I'm like, "Oh, darn, 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 darn," and I couldn't turn back. I'm not as familiar with Charlotte, but as it turns out, because the paper tag wasn't reflective, they never sent me anything. So, ooh, sorry, Charlotte. I guess I owe you $10. I'm sure you've gotten it from me in other ways, though, once I've come through there. Thank you, Barbara. Um, I'll show you more later on that one. Next drum's looking forward to that. And Donna says, hello from Texas. Sorry, I missed most of the live. All right. Well, thank you all again for being here and for just showing me grace and putting up with the last minute change and all. I may just have to wait. I think next week I won't even, well, I like to do it in advance to notify everybody, but I still need to find out what happened. But anyway, let's end. I want to end on a positive note. Wanted to read something to you that I read this morning and found it very encouraging. This comes from the good book, the Bible, and comes from Isaiah, prophet Isaiah in Old Testament. And this is from chapter 55, verses 6 through 12. And I just found this very uplifting. So this is to encourage. This is not to make anybody feel bad or awkward or anything like that. These are just words of life that I think we all need to hear. I do. So I'm going to share them with you as well. Starting with verse 6. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. Let me read that last part again. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return there, but water the earth, making it bring forth and sprout, giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall break forth into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. I just think that's some wonderful verses I read this morning, and I hope that encourages you today. I hope to be able to be here again next Friday. And if so, please join me. And again, don't forget, email me, bonniebay@me.com, if you are at all interested. If you're in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, and you want to join some of us for just a trip to the local yarn store, to the Knittens. Take care, you all. God bless. Bye bye.